Ahoy hoy everyone! Welcome back to the Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Fantom, and today we will be doing an unboxing and review of Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Windcharger. Windcharger is one of the first Autobots released in the very first wave of 1984. He originally was a mini-bot, or mini-car, and I don't think I ever owned him as a kid. I had Gears and I had Brawn, but I think that is the extent of, I had Bumblebee and Cliffjumper as well. But I think that that's the extent of the mini cars that I owned back then. I never actually had a proper Windcharger figure, so I'm kind of excited to see this. It's kind of interesting because Windcharger is killed off screen in Transformers the movie. His remains and those of Wheeljack are shown briefly on the floor of the firing chamber where our new Season 3 and movie Autobots adjust the trajectory of the mortar launcher to defend against Devastator in the Battle of Autobot City. They are not showing you that image, but he is dead. He is killed off screen during the Battle of Autobot City, and so it's kind of interesting why they would want to do this. I realize that this is probably a long-term strategy for Hasbro to go out and make new updated models of all of the Generation 1, Series 1, I guess you could say, Autobots. Just kind of putting them under the Studio Series 86 movie line label. I mean, of course, now we know that G1 Studio Series is going to expand to include all G1 figures, all Gamer Edition figures, however they come out. So it makes sense why they would want to do this. I guess they're just rolling. Legacy is a line that includes many different timelines and continuities, rolling them all into Studio Series Generation 1, or however they're going to change the appellation, to just put out more and more, because Brawn was a Studio Series 86 figure. They made the Dead Brawn figure that I previously reviewed in the Assault on the Autobot Shuttle video, and then they repainted him and remolded him into Swerve for the Age of the Primes line. So it's kind of weird that we've got this Windcharger figure for the movie line. It's just kind of strange, considering, he doesn't have any lines and is not shown except as a cadaver on the floor. All that being said, the packaging is appropriate. We have a very nice new CGI rendering of him in robot mode and vehicle mode, an up-close image of that rendering's face, a little bit of destroyed Autobot City here in the background, and then in the back, more of Autobot City. And then they're not showing us his dead body. They're showing just a piece of the original theatrical movie poster. Here it's very simple. It says, Windcharger uses his magnetic powers to fight the Decepticons. Windcharger could slide his hands into his arms and back out again to reveal magnetic element launchers, I guess you would say, that he uses to great effect at least once in the show. I just remember very distinctly in the Ultimate Doom, he uses them to pull Bumblebee out of a crevasse that he has fallen into when Cybertron is pulled into Earth's orbit and natural disasters are running rampant.
Bumblebee! He's down there. My tractor beam will get him out.
I'm sure this is the spot. There!
I'll increase the pull, but I don't have the power to keep it up for long. That's it. I'm out of energy. Bumblebee!
What a relief!
Aside from that, I am not really sure what else Windcharger does in the show. That kind of is his standout moment. I believe he's voiced by Don Messick in the G1 cartoon. I will double check that. So how about we open this guy up, take a look at what we've got to work with, shall we? Out of the package, Windcharger comes pre-transformed into his robot mode, and he comes with a magnetic effect piece his blaster pistol, and instructions. So, just taking a look at the figure right out of the box, I don't think it doesn't look like there's anything else that needs to be done to this figure to make him complete, like the aerial bots that we've seen where they were only partially transformed and you needed to add additional pieces. He looks perfectly fine. He is apparently left-handed. He's got his blast effect here, which I'm not sure how that goes. Okay, well, that's interesting. His magnetic piece that in the cartoon he emits from his hand is, in this case, emitted from his chest. It just plugs in here and he has his magnetic effect field, which is kind of weird. They also show his gun in his right hand, even though there is a little post here, which generally means that's not the direction that should be facing out, but the instructions do specify that it goes into his right hand. So that's kind of weird to begin with. So this plugs into his chest, and then it also plugs into his back if you don't want him to have his blast effect active and still want to keep the accessory attached to the figure itself. All right, looking at this, my biggest issue is really just these feet. Unlike the aerial bot's slingshot, and I don't even remember the other one's name, he does have enormous clodhopper of feet. For what purpose, I'm really not sure. These definitely are transformed correctly, but they don't really sit flat. He does have ankle tilts of a type in that his entire joint moves, so you could theoretically call these hooves, I guess. So he is posable. I don't like the fact that he rocks a bit because this isn't a flat surface. And it doesn't look like, looking at the instructions, it does not look like there is a way to make his feet flat. I think this is supposed to be his flat foot part, but he doesn't have a heel to keep that stable, so he will just kind of rock backwards. I mean, he stands up perfectly fine normally. Okay, well, I take that back. It appears that he stands fine normally. And, I mean, yeah, he does. He does. You can do him as splay feet or you can do him as together. And he does stand up fairly fine. There's a little bit of rotational oddness as if he's standing on a ball. His arms are, these joints are a little tight, actually. He does have a full range of motion because of this ball joint that, you know, I just opened up and popped out of its socket. Now, it looks like these need to be turned around. Would make more sense. Yeah, I mean, he has full range of articulation that you would expect figures of this type. He has a knee, which is extraordinarily difficult to bend. Once again, I mean, it's the same problem that I had with some of the aerial bots. The feet are so huge and so ungainly that it really limits the posability that you can do with the lower half of his body. He does have a hip swivel, and his head does turn as well. It does not go up and down, but it does turn, so that's nice. The likeness is actually quite good, as a matter of fact. It does look like how he appeared in the show and in his in associated media like IDW. It looks very nice. One thing I will say about everything from these newer lines is the faces really are quite good likenesses. I said that about the aerial bots as well. They're very good likenesses. Whoever is doing the 3D molding for these is quite good at their job, let's just say. I am kind of upset that he can't emit this magnetic wave from one of his hands because that's how it was in the show. I don't think he ever emitted it from his chest. I mean, it's nice that you can put it on here, and then if you don't want that, you can put it on his back. That's kind of nice. I don't really know why you would want to do that. But it is nice that they're allowing you to fold away the accessory so you don't lose it. All told, he's very nice. He's a very nice little figure. Articulation is solid. I really don't like the feet. I really don't like the feet for the reasons that I've already expressed. He's also extraordinarily light. he is not a very heavy figure. And so it's kind of difficult to call this deluxe class, considering all of the aerial bots that we've done so far have all been deluxe class with the exception of Silverbolt. And all of those are heavier than this. This is extraordinarily light and extraordinarily short. But, I mean, if the edict came out that you wanted to make a cartoon accurate depiction of a character, this is very cartoon accurate. He's very nice. He's very posable. There really isn't that much to say. I like the figure. I question why this is a deluxe class figure. I mean, the Studio Series 86 Scout class figures that they've released have really been just spy changers. They've just been cassettes, really, with the exception of, what, Spike in his exosuit, or was it Daniel in his exosuit? I think it was Spike in his exosuit. And that was really, it used about the same amount of plastic as a cassette as Rumble or Frenzy, or Steel Jaw, or Rewind, or Eject. So, I mean, this is using more plastic than that, but can you really call this a deluxe class figure? It's nice. He is a little hollow on the sides, but, I mean, how often are you going to be looking at him from the sides? Also, this is the problem of this clipping in is a little iffy, especially during normal posability. It reminds me of the Battle Charger issues, where the Battle Charger feet don't really clip together in the bottom, even though that is the point. They don't really clip together, so as soon as you start trying to pose the feet, the legs pop open. It reminds me a lot of that, because no matter what you do, this is going to pop out open. But I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say anything bad about this figure, because I actually really like it. I just do question the fact that it is a deluxe class figure. I don't think it really rises to the point of deluxe. I think if this had come packed with something else, like a 2-pack of these size figures, or even this and a cassette, and sold it for a deluxe class price, I think I would have a lot less difficulty swallowing that. But this, as it stands, is just it's a little too less for what I paid. Granted, I did buy this figure before deluxe class, the last deluxe class increase. So I believe I only paid $17.99 for this. I mean, it's not like I paid $30 for this like some of the other deluxe classes, but I'm still kind of angry that this small size is what I got for that price. So how about we transform him into a car and see what that looks like, shall we? So here's Windcharger in his alt mode, which is actually a really nice alt mode. I'm actually really quite surprised how much I really like it. It does really just look like an updated version of his original toy, in that it seems like a shrunken down kind of Trans Am car. Actually, it looks like Inspector Gadget's car. That would be an interesting crossover. The wheels all come out of the thing like buggy wheels, which is kind of not reality. It does roll really well, and the gun does tab into the bottom, and I love it when toys do that. So you can keep all the accessories on the car. I mean, granted, I don't really like this huge magnetic effect on the front, but that actually is a little bit more like, I guess it was in the show. I mean, he essentially in the show, he used his headlights as magnetic beams. So this whole magnet thing, no matter how they use it, it doesn't seem to be used correctly like it was in the show. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about it, but I'm just pointing that out, that he never had a magnetic effect that came out of the hood of his car like that. It came out of his headlights, and he locked them onto somebody else's bumper. And then they just pull. I can't remember who it was. Trailbreaker? Can't remember who it was. In the Ultimate Doom.
Back. Everything's cool with me, Ironhide. Long as I got my magnet beams locked on your bumper, I can just lay back and leave the driving to you.
In any case, I like this. Yes, I should have turned his head around. I like this. I think it's really nice. It's really compact. I like it as a modern interpretation of his original alt mode. I think it's nice. It is very sleek. It folds up very well. I like the fact that his accessories can at least post into this so that you don't lose them. I don't agree with this thing, but the Autobot tampograph is a nice touch. I do like the fact that, unlike, they could have gone the shell former route, and this all could have just opened up into panels that need to be folded away in a very masterpiece way, like the last Masterpiece Optimus. But instead, it just folds over the entirety of the body and then clips into the front. I like that. It's smart, presents a very sleek, nice-looking alt mode, so I really have nothing bad to say about this. It rolls well. I mean, in terms of actually being an accurate recreation of any car, no, it's not really an accurate recreation of any car. But as an interpretation of what his G1 cartoon car looked like, yeah, this works. So this is a win for me. So just for a point of comparison, this is the version we have just done. And this is the version from, what, the Thrilling 30, I think? The Generations version of the figure. Looking at it, this is an update to just make him a coupe. That's it. They are of roughly the same size. This one is noticeably lighter than this one. Paint here is much more of a shampoo bottle paint color, and this is kind of a darker, richer red. But, for comparison's sake, this is I guess the only previous version of Huffer that we got. So, there's your comparison. So here we are at the end, and this is Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Windcharger. A very fine update of the character. I really don't have a lot of complaints about this figure. I like him a lot, as a matter of fact. If I were to really name any complaints I have about it, simply that his feet are so completely hollow, and that this kind of weird rocker heel doesn't have a heel stop, so he will constantly be falling backwards. And the only other thing I have to say is really just, this is not really a deluxe class figure for the deluxe class price. For comparison's sake, here is also the Thrilling 30 version of Windcharger, which, despite being the same size in vehicle mode, is noticeably shorter in robot mode. It is very much a flimsy, shell former-ish kind of transformation. There's a lot of negative space in this figure. He is not sturdy. He is not thick. He's really flimsy and feels pretty cheap. But for the longest time, that was the only version that we could get. Also, this version has flip-out magnetic emitters. Which more closely mimic the way that he used his magnetic powers in the show. Thrilling 30, for anyone that wasn't around in the fandom at that time, Thrilling 30 was Hasbro's 30th anniversary kind of event. It was part of the Generations line, which spun out of Classics. And a lot of the Thrilling 30 figures were directly based on the way figures appeared in the IDW comics running at the time. So Windcharger in the comics looked a little bit more like this in the comics. So they kind of went more for comic accuracy rather than trying to make a genuine version of the G1 figure as it appeared in the show. A lot of the Thrilling 30 Transformers are actually still quite good to this day. I will defend the Thrilling 30 Springer and Sandstorm to my dying breath. Those are fantastic figures, especially considering how well they modeled them after Nick Roach's Last Stand of the Wreckers designs. And I mean, obviously we got Fistatron in last year for the Doom and Destruction line or something. It was packed with Carnivac. I've got nothing to say. I think this is a much better version of the figure as it appeared in the G1 cartoon. But here's the kicker. This is Scout Class. This was a Scout Class figure. This was $5 or $6 at the time, I believe. Actually has a thermo seal insignia here. And yeah, he has significantly less plastic in him, but he cost 3 to 4 times less than this character, this toy. So, I mean, take from that what you will. But this was the most recent Huffer figure that we've received. Windcharger figure that we have received. So it seemed apropos to put them both together so you can see what has actually happened to the figure. I think this one definitely wins the case. It's kind of a good example of winning the war, but at what cost? Because let's face it. Let's face it. For $5 back then, you got this, and this is what, $25 now? Is this the $27.99 price point? So yeah. In any case, I don't have a lot to say about this figure. I really like it. I think it's a great version of the figure. It's as articulated as you can want. And it is, if you want something that looks like it just stepped right off of your TV set, this is what you're looking for. Once again, I do question why he's in this line, considering he was killed off screen in the movie. One key thing that I did not mention earlier is he has a flipper switch on the back of his head that causes his face to go up and down. So he can look up, he can look really down, or he can just kind of look somewhere in the middle. So that's up to you. I really like this. I really like the appearance of this figure. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. This is a worthwhile figure, but I feel like I end almost every video with this disclaimer. Buy it on clearance if you can. Don't pay actual price for this. It is not worth the price. It is not worth that price. It's definitely worth something. I like it. I like it, and I mean, he's going to go on the shelf with the rest of my Studio Series 86 figures, and eventually I'll have all of the Season 1, 2, and 3 characters. Thank you very much for joining me today here on The Shelves Have Eyes. I am going to be continuing with all of the Transformer videos. I just picked up the Devastation Sideswipe that uses the Red Alert head on clearance at Target, as well as the More Than Meets the Eye Scourge reissue, which I was shocked to realize I did not own that figure. I went through all of my boxes. All of my boxes are now empty. My shelves are now full. Well, I mean, there are toys on my shelves. I don't know if they're full. But I was very surprised that I did not find that Scourge figure. So I don't think honestly, if I don't have it here, I'd never owned it. Which actually makes sense. I got into Studio Series 86 late. Almost all of the Studio Series 86 figures that I own either came out when I first started collecting them, or I bought in lots off eBay of just current Transformers. Here's 26 of them. So like that's how I got a vast majority of the Legacy and Studio Series 86 figures that I own. But I'll be continuing them apace. I do have the repro labels for this figure, so I'll probably be doing a video on that. Much shorter than this one, obviously. Maybe it will even be a short. I don't know. Do you guys want to watch me apply the labels to the figure? Or do you just want to see the final product? Because I did not, when I did my Optimus Prime repro labels video, I just applied all the labels and then told you about what changed and then showed you differences between it unlabeled and labeled. Do you want that, or do you want to actually watch me apply them? You tell me in the comments, or just drop me a line on the channel or through Reddit. You let me know what you think I should do, and I will gladly do it, because I could apply the labels on screen, or I could do it off screen, just show you the final product. You let me know which you would prefer. If it's going to be the latter, I could probably just make it a short, actually, and not a full video. Thank you very much for joining me. If you like this content and you would like to see more of it, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you know when the next video drops. We're constantly putting out content, and hopefully it's content that you want to see. If there is something in particular you'd like either myself or Chrissy to cover, please let us know in the comments. I have been Fantom. This has been The Shelves Have Eyes. Have a good day, y'all.
Transformers, defenders of truth, robots who fight in disguise. Transformers.